Hi everyone, it's Beth. Thank you for joining me with another episode of Unmasking Bipolar. Okay, so today we're going to talk about whether or not I succeeded or failed on my trek to lessen anxiety over the holidays. I just want to say, with it all being done, I really enjoyed my holiday. I enjoyed being with my family most of all. There were some bumps in the road, and I'm not going to tell you yet whether or not I failed. Sadie's going to be up and down. She's the cutest thing in the video anyway. Um, so I will go through each topic that we talked about in the other video, and I'll let you know how I did. Okay, we'll start with gift buying and giving. In the last episode, I told you that I felt like I was pretty much ahead of the game. um, with buying the gifts. I really struggled in the past with how much to give everyone. So with the grandchildren, we decided that we would give them three things instead of numerous things. Because you know what, kids really don't need all that stuff. They have fun opening it, but they don't need it. Um, I can't help it, she's so cute. Um, so I felt like I was ahead of the game. Uh, Last minute ish, I found out that some family members were coming that I didn't plan on, and three of those kids, I was just going to give money because they are teenagers. So, who doesn't like money, especially when you're a teenager? Um, I was so happy that they were coming, but I felt like I needed to have something for them to open. So, we had our Christmas get together on December 28th, which is great because when I went out to get some things for those kids, there were great sales. Bad thing was, I was getting the Black Friday crowds. So that was a little nerve wracking. With having bipolar, being in crowds is really hard, especially when you're in that stage where you want to just isolate yourself. So that was difficult. Um, but I got through it and I found some, I thought, really cool things for them. I got to tell you a funny story though. I'm like going through the store and there's an escalator going down, and I have the packages in my hand, and I'm thinking, I hope I don't fall because they make me nervous anyway, because I always feel like I'm going to fall anyway, but without having anything to hold on to because I'm carrying something, I got really anxious. Two steps down, I fall. Luckily on my butt, but everything went. That was in my hands. So, yeah, I kind of had to laugh at myself after, I was done being embarrassed and picked myself up. But anyway, so I think I did great as far as like limiting the amount of gifts for each child because they all seemed to be really happy with what they got. Um, and for the adult kids, we got them a couple gift, and it was basically a couple gift and something for the family to do together, and they really liked that too. The only thing that I struggled with, and I do every year, and it doesn't matter if I give them, over the years 28, 30 things, or if I give them three things or one thing, I always think that I didn't do enough. I know I did. I know they're fine. I know they're happy, but I fixate on it. And I think that's part of the beast of having bipolar. You just ruminate on things and ruminate on it. So, yeah, I did that. And, it took a while, it took a couple of days for me to get past that. And I think I'm okay until next year. But I've got to find tools that I can use because it's not just going to be Christmas, right? It's going to be other things. It's going to be even just every day. Did I do enough for that person? Am I enough for that person? Um, Something I got to work on. So that's it for gift giving and buying. I thought I succeeded. Now, meal planning and prepping and cooking. Uh, So, the last video I told you that I really didn't want to have a big Christmas get together. And, my family, my husband being upset with us not doing that. And I conceded because it's not fair to not celebrate it because I have the need to isolate at times and that I feel overwhelmed. But I liked the compromise that my husband and I had where he would make dinner. And, instead of making a big meal with everything, turkey, ham, all the meats you can imagine and sides you can imagine, we did lasagna. So my husband is let me say, he's really good at making lasagna. And so he did a great job. We're vegan. So he made a vegan lasagna for him and I, and some of the kids like it as well. And, a regular one with meat. And they were both delicious. So it was really good. Now, I feel like the only thing that was not good with that was we procrastinated. And you're going to see that's kind of a theme with this video. We procrastinated the day of. My husband went out to go shopping the day of. It was great. And it was a fail with procrastination. So it evened out. Okay, next is cleaning. In my last video, I told you about how I obsessively cleaned before anybody came over in the holidays. And by doing that, it caused a lot of anxiety for me as well as for my family because when I get anxious, sometimes I'll admit, I am not the nicest person and everybody else feels my stress. And then I feel like everybody has to do or something, and if they're not doing it, it's not enough. And I'm being honest with you, that's just how I was, hopefully not am anymore. So this year, my goal was to not be obsessive about it and to not stress as much about it. And, I'd have to say I was great with it. But again, procrastination reared its ugly head and the day of I'm cleaning. So that in itself is a lot of anxiety. And I was just really anxious. And it's just my husband and I to do this house. And it was stressful. And he's cleaning, or I'm sorry, he's cooking. And so I'm left with the cleaning. We realized that there's a lot of times we sat on the couch and watched The Office instead of doing things we needed to do. And so we did talk about it afterward, and we're hoping that the next time before we sit down and watch something or do something that's not related to preparing for the holidays, we think about it first and do it. Do whatever we can so that we're not going through that stress. So, not obsessing about it is a win, but waiting till the day of is a total fail. And I'm going to say the fail won. Next is wrapping. I think I conveyed in the last video about how much I hate, despise wrapping because I really suck at it bad. And my goal was to give it all to my husband, because he enjoys it and he does a great job. So why not? But guess what happened? Yeah, procrastination. That's what happened. Guess what we were doing the day of, besides cleaning and prepping for dinner? Wrapping. So I don't think I have to say it. It was a total fail. A total fail. I think I covered all the topics. So to kind of wrap things up and tell you about how I feel that I did this holiday season, I love the holidays. I loved being with my family most of all. So, that outweighs a lot of things. But the fails really affected me because I was exhausted doing things the day of our get together. It really kind of put me into a spot that was not healthy. And having bipolar, the most important thing is to take care of yourself. And I did not. I did not do as much self care as I needed to do and did not get the rest that I needed. So, yeah, that ended up with an episode that was not fun, but luckily it was confined to myself and maybe a little bit my husband and not anybody else. So that's good. But I need to not do that anymore. And I kind of, you know, all of this is a learning process, right? So I had all these goals in mind for this holiday season. And whether or not I failed it, at least I realized that these things can make me very anxious and that I have goals in mind and I have steps and um, people to help. That's a good thing. So, fail or not, I think that I learned from this. It was a total learning process, and I am actually going to write in my December calendar. Please look at this video and remind yourself what you did wrong and don't do it next season. I hope you all had a great holiday, and I hope that I can give you a little bit of help on things that I've learned. Whether or not I failed or not, sharing this with you, I hope that it helps you too. That's it for now. Talk to you later, guys.